On today's show, we are talking about setting the pace for the year ahead. Not rushing it, not trying to fix everything, not overwhelming ourselves, getting into trouble, not deciding early how we want to move through this year. This is the 30. Let's get started. Happy New Year to you. Well, hello there, folks. Happy New Year. It is a new year, new things happening. We are coming to you on our very first episode of the new year. I want to thank you for being here. This is the 30. I am your host, and today we're talking about setting the pace for the new year. If this is your first time joining us, thank you and welcome to the 30. This is the time when we become consumed. Each new year has its own unique feeling, right? Its own unique things, its own unique way of doing things. And for us, there's a level of excitement, there's also a level of optimism, but there's also a quiet pressure, whether we acknowledge it or not. It's a sense that this is the year where we're going to do everything that we planned on doing last year, but didn't get to it. And we're looking forward to starting and resetting and regrouping not only the things that we said that we're going to do last year, but the things that we are going to do this year. So whether it's going to the gym, whether it's building muscle, losing weight, getting that new job, is saving more money, studying and praying more. We generally set out the new year, January 1st. We generally set out to do something differently, to do something that we always wanted to do. Whether it is goals or resolutions, we generally set aside and says, okay, this is the year. This is the time. This is when I'm going to get this done. And some of us are already, if we were to tell the truth and be honest, some of us are already in what I call go mode. We have our goals set out and we can't wait to get started. Basically, we can't wait to execute on those new goals. We're excited and we just want to get going. We just want to make things happen. And then there's others that necessarily don't set goals, choose not to set goals, those that haven't set goals in a long time. But I know for sure that setting goals is very important. However small, however large, it's important that we set goals. And not only that we set those goals, but we are ready to go from day one, today, that we are set, we are ready, we're loaded, and we are going and we're going to achieve some of those goals. Now, it's realistic, very realistic, that we don't always accomplish or achieve the goals that we set forth. None of us have, especially if we set what we call stretch goals, right? Not the easy goals. Okay, I'm going to walk half a mile once a week. That's easy. But we set goals that we want to achieve, and sometimes, yes, they are realistic, but they are goals that are important to us. And we set forth a time frame. And none of us, I don't believe, if we really are honest with ourselves and we set goals that are out there and we set time frames, a very small minority of us actually accomplish those goals at the time that we set them out to do, right? So, what we do, we simply reset and go again. We don't quit on the goals, we don't give up on the goals. We reset them and go again. So, whether you are a goal setter, right, what I found is this: most people don't struggle because they have goals. They struggle because they start the year out of sync. I'll say that again. Most people don't struggle because they don't set goals. They struggle because they begin the year, the new year, out of sync. It's either that they are too fast with their goals, right? They're too fast in terms of wanting to go too fast. They are too reactive as opposed to being proactive. They said too many yeses before they know what truly matters most. And that's what I call out of sync. And then by February or March, the year comes, those months comes, and we feel now that these goals that we've set are heavier. And then what happens? Because they're so heavy, we quit. We end up quitting before we get started in month two. Some of us don't even get to month two. Some give up on their goals in January. It's like the runner. Remember, if you've seen a runner, I ran track. I was never a long distance runner. 1, 2, 4. That's it for me. But I admire those long distance runners, those 1,500-meter runners, those 3,000, those 5,000-meter runners, those that do the marathons. I admire them for the commitment and the passion that they have. But look at it. Imagine, if you may, a long distance runner. And from the start, they decide to go out quickly. They decide their strategy is to, I'm going to go out and I'm going to finish the way I started. Well, we've seen this story, right? We've seen it happen. They go out fast, they go out quickly, and they burn up all of their energy early. And then they start to, what we call in track, start to suck wind, right? They started to fade because the energy that they started with, they go out quickly. They don't take the time to really pace themselves. So it all comes down to pace. And that's what we're talking about today. Setting the pace for the new year, as opposed to going out early and putting everything in the first 2 weeks. And then what happens? We become like the runner, the 3,000-meter runner, the 5,000 or the 1,500-meter runner. Out there on their own, out too fast, and then struggling to finish. See, pace determines a number of things. Pace determines how we respond under pressure. It also, how do we make decisions? Pace also determines how present we are with people and how sustainable our effort actually is. That's the runner. How sustainable are you when push comes to shove, right? Friends, we may have great intentions at the beginning of the year. We have goals that are set, but those great intentions, we still burn out. because especially if our pace is off. So we are going to set our goals this year, and we are going to give ourselves time. We're going to set the pace. We're not going to burn out like the 3,000-meter runner, where we go out quickly and then we fade at the end. So we're going to have great intentions, but we're going to set the right pace. See, pace truly matters. So before we talk about doing more, before we talk about achieving more, it's worth asking, what pace do I want to carry into this year? So we can have the greatest goals. We can have them laid out. We can have the goal, the strategy, and action steps all laid out. But if we don't have the right pace to carry us throughout this year, the result is that we will burn out. We will burn ourselves out and we'll end up quitting. And we don't want that. We want to make sure that this is the year where we carry ourselves from beginning to end, from January to December, and we accomplish the goals that we set out and that we set forth. It's important to know, folks, that setting the pace doesn't mean slowing down. It doesn't mean slowing all the way down or slowing everything down. It also doesn't mean speeding everything up. So sometimes we tend to do this, slow everything down, or we tend to speed all the way up. There's no in between. But what setting the pace simply means, it means deciding what deserves my best energy. So there are some decisions that we have to make. If we are going to finish this race, if we're going to accomplish those goals, if we're going to go from January to December, as opposed to January 1st to January or February 28th, we have to make some tough decisions. And one decision could be, what deserves my best energy? Where do I put my energy into? Another part of it is, what can wait? See, we can't do it all at the same time. There are some things that must wait. There's some need to do, some nice to do, right? What we talk about in our time management class is the 3Ds. The 3Ds. Do, decline, or delegate. So we want to find out what can wait, what needs more intention, what needs less urgency. So folks, it's about pacing ourselves. We're not going for the sprint. We're not going for, if you're running indoors, the 50-yard meter. We're not going for the 100-yard meter. We're going for the long haul. So we're looking at pacing ourselves in order to accomplish our goals. See, pace shows up in small ways. How quickly can you commit to things? It also shows up in how you structure your days. We're talking about time management, right? It shows up in how often you pause before responding and saying yes. As I mentioned, we can't do it all. Some things we have to say no to. We can't say yes to everything and expect to accomplish everything that we set forth. It also comes down to, how do you protect your time? How do you protect your time and attention? We're talking about utilizing boundaries. See, because if we don't utilize and set boundaries, sometimes people will never respect our time. So we have to set boundaries. So that's how we pace ourselves. Making sure that we're focused on what's important, focus on setting boundaries, focus on not saying yes to everything, but sometimes saying no to things. So here's something that's important, folks. Setting the pace isn't selfish. As much as you would like to say yes to everything, that's not wise. Sometimes we have to be selfish and say no. I can't do it. And that's responsible. That's using wisdom. It's not being selfish about it, it's using wisdom because you don't want to burn yourself out. Saying yes to everything and every place is a recipe for burnout. So we want to be responsible. We want to use wisdom because when your pace is right, here's what happens. You start to think clear. Your relationships are healthier. Your work is more focused, and your impact in the spaces that you are and the people that you serve or the people that you're with becomes more productive, and the impact lasts longer. So here is where a lot of people get stuck. Going back to the race, right? That analogy of the person that's the runner that's running the 3,000 meters or the 5,000 meters. So imagine the person is out there on their own. They decide that their strategy is, I'm going to go out, I'm going to focus, I'm going to put the pace out there. And this person is not the rapid. Sometimes in races, in order to get a faster time, some contest has a rapid so that that person goes out quickly to set the pace, but then they drop off, right? That's the rapid. But we're talking about the racers, the runners that are part of the race. They're out there. The strategy sometimes is that the one person may says, okay, I'm going to go out because I know that if I don't, I may not finish in the right place that I desire to be. So they go out and they use all their energy up, and now they start to come back. So, and that's where some people get stuck because you're out there on your own. And then by late January or February, we're not seeing a success. We run into trouble. Things now are not working out as we planned. And now we need a different pace because we set the pace too fast. And now we need to have a different pace. We want to slow it all the way down. And what happens? We may slow it down so much that we stop and we quit. So those that move forward on their own, set the strategy, they end up losing momentum and quitting. And now they're trying to figure out alone, how do I restart? How do I get going again? So now we have a strategy of start and restart, right? Remember, so we go to the gym a couple weeks, then we start to fade because we use up too much energy in the first 2 weeks or month, then we start to fade. And then we 2 months down the road, we have to restart again. The momentum has been broken. So what do we need to do? What should be our strategy? What are some of the action steps? So if we take the analogy again of the long distance runner, you will find that those that finish, there's a pack of racers, whether it's a lead pack or a secondary pack, but there's a pack of runners. They generally run together to cut down on the wind, but also to pace themselves. And what happens as the race goes on, they now start to speed it up. But they don't speed up in the beginning. They speed up in the middle towards the end of the race. And now they are picking up. But they've paced themselves. And that's what we need to do. is to pace ourselves, conserve our energy. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go out. Don't get me wrong, because we're gonna go this year. This year is the year for us, and I hope and pray is the year for you. I know, but I don't want you to burn out. I want you to go out hard, but pace yourself. Have a strategy. Run in a pack. Don't run alone. Have people in the community. So January is not just about motivation and inspiration. It's about alignment. And alignment is easier when you're not carrying it by yourself, when you're not carrying the full weight. That's what alignment is about. And that's why spaces for intentional growth matter. Not because people need fixing, but because clarity grows faster in the right environment. Clarity grows faster in community. This is why we at the Jackman Group, who are producers of the 30, this is exactly why we are working on, and we will have on January 29th, our winter 2026 leadership intensive. This is exactly why it exists, so that we can help you. We can help you accomplish your goal at the right pace. And this is not just for a quick boost. It's not as a hype session. But what it is a space for you to slow down just enough to seek clarity, to get direction, to review your decision making, and to set a sustainable pace for months ahead. And this is done in community. This is not done alone. This is done with all of us working together. So, folks, registration is now open, especially for those who are ready to be intentional about how they move into this year. If you're not intentional, do me a favor, don't register. If you're not serious about your goals and where you're going, this may not be for you. But if you are intentional about your goals and you're looking for assistance with community, with others doing it together, with us all together as one, with us assisting you with your goals. So whether it is through a conversation, whether it's through our intense program, you want to give yourself permission. And this is the invitation that I'm extending to you. Join us. You'll hear me talk more about this. And it's January 29th. Registration is open now. You can go to our link is in the description of this episode. Just click on the link, go register, so that we can work together, we can partner together in helping you to get a fast start, but a start that has pace and momentum, so that we can finish together. It's not about starting, it's about finishing strong. Many people may start, but many people may not finish. So we want to make sure that we're starting strong and we're finishing strong. So in closing, as we step into 2026, don't just focus on your goals. Give priority to pacing yourself, and more importantly, surrounding yourself with a community that can assist you with those goals. So set the pace for the year. Work with a community that can help you to achieve your goals. So thank you for being here. We look forward to what this year has for you and for us. If we can help you at the Jackman Group, do not hesitate to reach out to us. You can check our email. Our email is info@jackmangroupllc.com. That is info@jackmangroupllc.com. Or you can give us a call. Go to our website, jackmangroupllc.com. So email us, go to our website, check us out. We would love the opportunity to partner with you this year, whether you are an individual or you an organization. We would love the opportunity to partner with you this year to help you accomplish your individual goals, your team's goals, and your organization goals, because that's what we focus on: leadership development, team enhancement, and organizational strategy. So thank you for being here. May God bless you for today and for days to come. All right. We will see you next week. Thank you. God bless you. Have a good evening.